Well, I know if it's government jobs too, they go home to where they do the government move their ass.
No, I'm saying state employees, now California, they tax. Supposedly they tax their state employees that move, wherever they move, they'll still.
I did that. When I let it grow out again, I almost, it's so hot, maybe you're happy with it. Well, as I said, it's hot, so I can.
Okay, so
Do you need paper? Yeah.
I'll just write it on.
call the meeting to order at 7:07 p.m. Present are Nick Tella, Kathy Ryan, Jen Tian, Joan Tarasowitz, and Ian Copeland. So we do have
Okay,
a
so.
quorum.
Can't believe it's July already.
I know it's
Late
right.
July.
I mean, it seems like I'll be like, I don't know.
I still keep bringing June and everything. Okay, first thing on the list is acceptance of the minutes of the June 12th meeting, which were sent, so everyone should have a copy of those. Okay. Any concerns about the meeting, the minutes?
Okay, now I've got it right here. Okay, the first one, the June 12th, okay, I read those in there.
Yeah, I haven't seen any issue with it. This jumped out at me.
I just have clarification that the March, so within there, we had accepted the minutes of March 29th. But then it says, but this is able until the next meeting due to, for reasons. Do you know, I mean, we can look at the meeting minutes for later on, but were the,
I honestly don't know.
I just feel like I'm afraid that March 29th
Our
minutes are getting lost,
RSP.
and I don't know.
Well, that's a long time ago.
Well,
I just see
Okay,
mention
that
of it.
used to be about that.
what we can do, if they don't magically appear in Joan's files.
Yes, please.
I'm all set.
They may not.
Oh, Jen, it would be great when you could, everything else.
No, I have them, thank you. Okay.
That's just the only thing I see. That
Yeah,
popped out
that's a
there.
good point. If there is a problem with it, we can assign someone to, investigate the minutes, make sure we have them.
Okay.
Well, secretary ultimately.
Well, or people can be assigned tasks, that's a thing.
Okay, so, so we'll find that, and,
So we've not accepted that.
So I
minute.
said,
That needs to be what it's saying,
That is unusual. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a heck of a long time.
I-
Not
I-
exactly at home, but we could look it up on email.
I mean, ultimately, they probably would have gotten pushed to the June 20th meeting. Which I don't recall when I was today I had gone through meetings going all the way back to April 10th. And I checked off when we're accepting minutes or not and such, and I didn't have any acceptance of minutes on June 20th. when we were looking at it.
I don't think we did.
I've got March 27th.
well, that's what I was gonna say, I don't think March
Uh,
29th is a correct date, so I'm wondering if that's supposed to be May
March.
29th, but
What is it?
any way you figure it, the 29th is not the first or third, when do we need second and fourth?
I mean, May, June 12th, so,
May 29th is a Wednesday and we did meet,
Okay,
so it must be May.
So it must mean May, alright, that makes sense.
So. Hang on.
Now.
Yeah. Alright.
I think it's time for me to come by.
Yeah.
So how would people feel about making a motion that we ask Joy to check and make sure that there are meeting minutes? Oh, there she is. Hi, Joy. I was just trying to assign you a job. I'm here.
What job were you? I don't see.
We were looking over the minutes of June 12, and Nick pointed out a good point that there's a mention of minutes that had some issues. It said March 20th, I think we meant May. Which first of all, has to be corrected in the minutes, but we were wondering if you happened to have or know the story of those. Or if you could look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit.
That's fine.
So that's gonna be.
May 29th meeting.
Okay,
Because Joy and I worked on,
yeah.
I have it in my email,
Oh,
but,
Okay,
I mean, we could print that, maybe. Here,
can you print them off the phone?
I will find out. Yeah, it's there,
We're looking for particular needs.
Yep, May
Yeah.
29th.
May not work because that printer's off.
Yeah, the printer isn't available right now.
So.
Do you want me to send these to you? Steph?
So,
Do you want me to send it to your email or?
that's even better, so, hold on,
I might be able to print
even better spell.
it actually found your printer,
oh, it might be something on the big one.
it's circulation desk,
That's not a thing.
Oh, okay.
that's all I have, that's like you.
Okay, if you could send them to my email, I can do it.
So you found
So
it,
we decided.
Yeah.
This was May 29th.
Would everyone like a copy or just a?
yes,
share?
please.
So it sounds as if we need to make a correction to the minutes that where it says March 29th, it means May 29th.
Mhm.
So I'll make that motion.
Give me one second.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm
Yeah.
trying to send this over.
I didn't hear it yell at me that we were recording. Okay. I just usually it scares the bejesus out.
Recording.
No, what happened?
We turned the volume down.
No, that's not what happened at all.
Oh.
As I was plugging it in, it automatically started the recording. And you were doing something, I don't know. But then because we had to finish setting up, I paused it, and when you unpause it,
Ah.
it does not scream at you like that.
Oh, that's nice.
But it is recording.
Cool.
We're gonna take a look at the, because I didn't look at May 29th,
Mhm.
assuming.
Yeah.
Does that need to be an agenda item, or does it need to be added since it's not on the agenda?
I think we should add it to our next agenda to review May. Nights.
Because ultimately, June 12th is the one that's on our agenda today.
Right,
I mean, I'd be in favor to accepting this one too, but just to make sure.
yeah, having not read it yet, I mean, I haven't read it since like eons ago. But we wanna wait until we get the copies and.
Yeah, no, okay, what about the concern over the minutes from May 8th?
So I didn't review that one because it wasn't on the agenda today. I mean, I'm going to review it now. As it's been there.
I didn't see any problem, nothing jumped out. I'm not approving it. You want to go get May, that copy here.
Okay. For the May 20. I know we're bouncing between the two here. I'm back on May 29th. We made no corrections or anything to those in the past, right?
No. We did not.
Okay. That's all good there. May 8th is another one, or what was the other one?
Yeah.
May 8th is the one that's been languishing. I think we can copy it away temporarily.
Okay, so,
I just opened this, I'm just taking it.
yeah, no, that's fine. Debbie's making copies of May 29th. And Nick is reviewing May 8th. It's not that I'm rushing you, Nick, I just want people on the other end
To know what to do.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
got it.
We're in intermission.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate it.
This discussion recordings need to be brought up to date, meaning these recordings, the Zoom recordings,
Yes,
that's what that means,
Yeah,
okay,
that
just
means-
making sure.
The wall. No, just steel.
no,
No.
My only correction here is, nobody knows, my name is always spelled wrong.
I was gonna ask you, isn't it TAR?
Yes.
That's
it's
not-
Tadishkevich, and you can't get Tadishkevich out of this. But it is spelled phonetically, which I think is pretty neat, so why is your name spelled? And TARAS, yeah, KIEWICZ. Okay, it's correct. Now, the Polish names, the KIEWICZ, so you've got Drashkevich and Pankevich and stuff like that. The first 5 letters change, but the end stays the same. That's about.
I simply go back and look at my emails.
Well, then there's your first name, which seems to wobble all over the place. too.
I know it, I know. it.
I mean, that's spelled right, except you capitalize the A, don't
Just
you?
call me beautiful. Okay, but anyway, so I don't get totally insulted by it, but I didn't know if it would create a problem someday.
Is it JOANN, is that correct for you too?
JOAN, yeah, for Joan, I was going to Joan.
Okay.
My legal name is Joanne, but I don't use it.
that was very confusing to me for the longest time when I know it.
Mhm.
I can
That's
tell if
30
people
years.
know me or not, people that know me, call me Joan or Johnny, but people that have just met.
Okay.
call me Joan.
As cool as this talk is.
So Joan,
So we're gonna move forward, so are we gonna add any of these first, or what are we gonna do, the agenda?
How about we,
We're looking them over, it probably makes no sense if we're not gonna add them to the agenda.
Right, so let's make a motion to review not only the June 12th meeting, but the May 8th and the May 29th.
So,
and the July 2nd.
well,
Or is that
second
already on?
motion. The July 2nd, I haven't even reviewed either, and we
Okay,
can do
Sorry.
that.
July 2nd.
Okay, so it was.
So
May
it was scheduled,
May 29th.
except June 12th, May 8th, May 29th.
I have to move to the next, and is that happening next week?
We are
Or, okay, so I will very unlikely be able to call in, I'll see.
accepting June 12th.
Yes.
Okay, accepted.
Okay.
Wait, we haven't
No,
voted to-
No, this is just waiting, accepting the
We
other.
have a motion on the table to accept all 3 of the minutes tonight.
Seconded.
Make second.
Oh, I looked at differently, okay.
Oh, yeah, I did too. I thought we were motioning to look at them and then we were making.
Right.
But, the only error I see in any of the 4 is that it says March when it should say May. So I would,
We already corrected.
right, but that we have to make a motion to correct.
So it's set 5/8, 5/29,
I
7/2,
thought you made a motion.
No, 6/12.
6.
I started to and then people got
Just move that we correct, that we accept them with corrections.
with corrections, yes.
Well, first, we're gonna move to put them on the agenda.
Exactly, that's
Okay,
where, that's
sorry.
where we stand right now. We have a motion.
I will second that.
No, Nick.
No, sorry,
Not
no,
here again, not here again.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to add to the agenda. With
Tonight.
the acceptance of the minutes of May 8th and May 29th in addition to June 12th. I made the motion, Nick seconded it.
Right, okay. Any discussion?
I think we've had a lot of discussion, so. Like, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so unanimous, we will review all of the minutes. So, the first one that was on the list was June 12th. We have, one correction that it's May, not March. Do we have any other corrections on that?
I mean, it showed up twice.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
There was no vote on anything on that day, but I don't see it.
No,
No,
So yeah, other than March to May, I don't see it.
okay, so, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of June 12th with the amendment that it was May 29th, not March.
Okay.
Second,
I'll second that.
general second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, moving on to, what do you want to move on to, May 29th?
Second.
Maybe.
May.
May 8th.
Okay.
Okay, so comments on May 8th?
Oh, I'm sorry. Make it, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of May 8th.
Yeah, open for discussion, sorry.
I think we get.
Oh, sorry, yeah, there was
No,
a second.
okay, so Nick's seconding, now it's open for discussion.
So I just have. So there was one loose leaf paperwork that mentions about May meetings. And I don't know if there was supposed to be anything added to either the 8th or the 29th. That discussed. Detailed information of pay. I don't recall being had on the 8th, but I
Okay.
did see a loose leaf.
Yeah, there is a loose leaf that was, that we did not vote on anything, we simply reviewed it and talked about the options.
Yeah,
Right.
So there was no vote on it, it was just,
Well, I think,
that was the moment to think about.
what day was it that we voted on that? Because it should be in one of these.
So I don't recall us ever voting on any of that, so, and there's no minutes that reflect that either.
Okay,
Correct, the detailed information, we had voted at one of these meetings,
This
I
one.
think it might have been the 29th. Maybe it was the 29th, but-
well, okay, it's on the minutes of the 29th, but what are we doing with the minutes of May?
I'm good with them.
Okay,
Yes,
so all in favor of accepting the minutes for May
We just make one typo for.
8th? Yeah, sure.
It's okay.
Love the way the executive sessions are now, is not thorough. Just change.
Okay, just.
Okay, where is that?
Last
Second
page.
Very last, like.
It said board concerns neck. You also said, I assume you advocated for Zoom as opposed to allocated. for
Yeah,
Zoom.
exactly.
correct,
Oh, no.
Advocated for and then announced is not, sorry, is not thorough.
Yeah, so we need a change of advocated.
And is not thorough.
there's a little bit of the first letter and last letter, and I assume the word.
Terrible proofreader in that respect.
Okay, anything else on May 8th? Okay, then we have a motion on the table to accept the minutes of May 8th after the discussion. All in favor? Aye. Yes, sir. Okay, so 5 ayes, 1 abstention, motion passes. Okay, to the meeting on May 29th. There is on the back. Then make a motion to initiate a new structure of a one-time full-time director, 1 full-time assistant director programmer. After discussion as to whether or not we know the funds are available, which at this point is uncertain after the failure of the last budget referendum. A vote was called. So apparently that vote was simply to initiate the new structure, not to.
Right, I had meant it
Okay.
for it to be, but I didn't, I may not have made the motion.
Okay, I'm not sure what you were saying, Karen. The problem with this, yes, okay, we have the new structure. Okay, the issue with pay, we didn't have a final budget, we weren't sure what we were doing.
Right.
I couldn't do a pay then,
Right,
but that's when we decided,
okay,
this is it, we're doing this structure.
alright,
For those two positions.
those two positions,
Yes,
right.
those two positions,
Yeah.
yeah, and the other things stayed the same, the other.
And so when was the second referendum? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was in June, which means the topic would not have been brought up.
yeah,
It was definitely mid-June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, on June 12th.
no, it was brought up on June 2nd, we have it in the June 2nd minutes.
We don't have a June 2nd.
July.
Okay, July
It's in the
2nd.
slides.
Okay, okay, so that is in the July 2nd minutes, which I didn't print out. Okay,
Everybody wants to make copies of it.
yeah, I'm for Deb to do the director's report. So,
Right,
And before we vote on this, referencing that loose leaf again, there was mention that numbers were approved by the board. So that loose leaf paperwork probably was incorrect, since the May 8th that we passed had no mention of us approving numbers, and this one does not have any mention of us approving numbers.
Okay, well, what
do we, I need to pause again on May 8th.
We'd already voted
Yeah.
on that, so.
Yeah,
Jen said that it was, pay was brought up at the July 2nd meeting.
yes,
We don't have the July 2nd meetings on the minutes for that on the agenda.
Well, you know, pays gonna come up later. So-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
so,
We don't have to worry about that. This.
okay, so we're gonna wait until our next meeting to approve our July 2nd meeting,
Yes.
okay,
I just wanted to point that out for clarification.
yes, that's great,
That's
thank
fine.
you.
Thank you. Okay, Deb, are you ready to give the director's report or? Okay.
I think I got mailed it.
It was good, yeah.
What I have is what is in, under new business, so I'm just gonna scroll down. And I will get for you, one that isn't better, I just have been collecting all my thoughts. So I don't have a perfect order of things, but I will definitely get it so you guys can have them in file.
Almost the third, you accepted June.
Speaking of that, let me start with that first.
Excuse me.
Come in and borrow our book, notebook binder that has minutes and agendas for our.
That originally had been on the agenda for today. Does anybody know where the notebook is? I took it off.
Come and borrow it.
I didn't even know it existed, so I
Yeah, we had, well, the weirdest thing is, we had two big binders. I got ones that take me up to 2019, I believe, and then my second binder is like the rest of the time, and I can find it nowhere, so I thought, well, maybe somebody might have borrowed it. But nobody did, okay.
Well, nobody at this table did. There doesn't somebody did.
It's free to be.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, maybe I'll ask a friend about it, it was the wrong thing, but I would have thought they would have said something, but yeah, that is all needed, because we do keep a record. As well as I can imagine you someone who says,
So you're saying there are two binders missing or one?
what one,
Okay.
just the one of the most current years.
And not believing hope, but do you know if she might have accidentally taken it at all, or have possession of it?
I can answer that, I would not think so.
Sure.
I mean, we're
Just
just,
back.
it's a 3-inch binder.
You notice it.
Yeah, now it's getting 1 or 2 inch. Wide kind of thing, I just thinking that.
Okay, so
So let's see. Does anyone know? And I know with we were just reading it off of the 29th. minutes, which I highlighted, I'll have to look into that. Where the Zoom meetings are going when we have them, because I know,
Shannon Rittner.
so we would then have to go to her now to get them to put on our website.
Well, there's always a copy of them. So,
How do we do this?
okay, right now, we're on my computer with the hotspot. Because when we used the Chromebook, it had been saving it to the cloud. And Hope apparently was the only one who knew where things were in the cloud, so she could download them, send a copy to Shannon and put them on the website. The last meeting, because of the issue with the cloud, I brought my computer. And so they are currently on the last meeting recordings are on my computer. I sent them to Shannon. I will send them to whoever in the library can post them on the website.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because if we had them, I know, one of the concerns that actually that was brought up again, which reminded me from the May 29th minutes. Was, certain people in the public, I did check on the website, we're not up to date. I know I've been looking for the Zoom one for the July 2nd meeting. So I'm just wondering, to get the minutes and to get the Zoom recordings on it, I would go to Shannon.
Shannon,
At the town,
Shannon-
she can then.
Shannon wouldn't have the minutes, but Shannon should
If
have.
we have that.
the recording. Yes.
So does anyone have a problem with me reaching out to Hope and asking her if she happens to know where the binder is? And if she can give us cloud access? Does anyone feel that that would be overstepping? Okay, then I'm gonna take that on.
I don't know, because I was gonna do that.
Okay.
The minutes and things, because what my question to Shannon is why aren't they on the public website? You know, not only ours, which we run into a little bit of a snafu here, trying to learn to bring them from the cloud down. That's something we'll have to learn to do, and the town said they'd help us with things like that. But my question is, why are they not on the public site?
So on the town website, I saw it looks to be from July 2nd all the way to April 10th is up, they are up there.
Okay, because. they
However, they're
weren't
not
there
getting
last time I
approved.
checked.
Today they were, I know that.
Okay, okay.
But you we're, and it gets into a different conversation as far as we need to start approving these. Cause that's where.
She's talking about Zoom.
Oh, you're talking
recordings, not
Zoom.
Meetings,
Oh,
not
my
minutes.
apologies, I thought you meant
And
that.
so Shannon would be the one to put it on there, the minutes, you're right, we
Yeah.
have to make sure they're approved and then send them up, which is kind of confusing.
Well, it's very confusing because they want the minutes within 7 days of the meeting, but we don't have enough meeting for 14 days. So,
Is it possible to send unapproved minutes with the, unapproved?
I thought that was how it was done.
I was talking to somebody and that's how he said it is done, is we publish the minutes and then we approve them later on.
Yeah, see, when I was the secretary, that's what I did, I sent them in within a week,
that's
and then.
what I assume was being
Yeah.
done.
So we could resend, amended. If
No,
there's any.
we don't.
Yeah.
No, they get amended in the next one.
So that, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
That's how it happens.
We notate the
Yeah.
corrections in the next meeting.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Is
Okay,
there
so,
somewhere too that there's supposed to be the minutes in writing submitted like within,
7 days.
is it 7 days, not 24, 48
No,
hours?
7
Yeah.
days.
So. Okay, so my next concern, was going to be about. What my responsibilities are going forward, but I'm gonna guess that will be under old business,
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah,
We'll probably find that
Okay,
out.
we got the
Yeah.
ADT we gotta talk about. Under new business. Okay,
Did you send that over to us or
I'm sorry,
the director's report, did you?
no, because
Okay,
it's
that's fine,
just
that's fine,
my thoughts,
that's fine.
I didn't get that far, I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
But I will.
Sure.
So, okay, so it doesn't say anything about the trees. All of you know that, a while ago, I had sent. Email to the public works department. Because there were things that were needing to be taken care of that were never addressed. And I did hear back from Heather, who's the administrative assistant, there now. We're not getting any help, so we got answers.
She did administrative assistant there.
Yeah,
Two.
the, Department of Public Works.
Oh,
Kind of thing, so, just a quick, I wanna go through it. One thing was we had electric wheelchair that they were gonna take that away, they did, we did try to find a place in Coventry who would fix it for veterans, but unfortunately they don't do electric ones anymore. So we did exhaust all possibilities of senior centers and other places where we were hoping they would have a use for them. Unfortunately, it went into the trash. But they did pick it up. Or I should say, maybe it went into the swap shack, I shouldn't say that, I went to the dump, but it could be the swap shack, maybe somebody can fix it. Kind of a thing, okay, the tree removal, they were saying it's not their. I wanna say concern for lack of a better word, but, and also they didn't have the money. They did give us the number of Bill at Linden Tree Services, who is who they hired to do the trees in town. I talked to the gentleman, really nice guy, but it would be a half, heck of a choice at 10 minutes and, you know, it shouldn't cost too much. After speaking to Bill, he had said that it is a half a day's work and to take down the 2 trees, which need to come down because they are exactly where people sit and the picnic tables, you have to go up there. It would be, let me give you the exact amount. $1,240. And that's not removing the trees or anything, that's just taking them down and laying them in, because along the edge of the woods. A little bit.
That's not,
Now, you suggested just today to call, and I did leave a message for
okay, cause I
Dad's
suggested
son,
that before. but it
who here's in Wilmington.
Yeah,
And that's, but I was thinking that the
Dan.
trees are gonna get taken care of by the time.
and they're fully insured and it's all set.
Oh, I have a question. And this is part of that whole we're town, but we're not town thing.
mhm.
The land belongs to the town, correct?
But I was thinking the same thing till Deb said the name they gave her was who they hired to take down trees.
Yes.
Which
But-
sounds like Public Works doesn't take down trees anyway.
But,
They
but,
hire somebody,
No, they're not.
they pay for the town pays for it, like Heather mentioned in the letter back that, they're tight on their budget funds too. So they can't help us, not that they were saying they were going to help us ever, but
it would seem like it would be the town's responsibility to remove trees on town land.
I will say that.
That's my,
Just pretty much Jen been told that's not gonna happen and they
Okay.
have her reasons.
alright,
So, but, he was giving us the town's, like discount. No.
okay.
Wasn't this land donated by, isn't there in the deed, it's still Becker's family?
No, it-
I don't
no,
know.
Michael looked it up, and in the deed, it says that this land now belongs to the town, and the building belongs to the town. And when I talked to Erica about that, she's like, well, it's just an oral agreement. I think that we should present a contract saying that this land and this building are leased to the library for $0 or $1 a year or something. If it has to have a dollar amount, $1 a year, and then it clarifies that it's
That it would be
ours.
our responsibility.
I think personally, I think we should just wait on that.
Because they do the mowing, they do the plowing, you would think that would fall into
Yeah.
place. You know, as far as being part of putting in and taking care of it, but.
Yeah.
I know they're tight on money on team the troops, I think they cut their budget for that, so.
Yeah, I know that,
Yeah, GIS,
last year or the year before, a lot of people who had trees that they wanted down. That weren't really close to the roads were like, oh, like demanding that the town do it. So they're kind of trying to back away a little bit, because they were forced to do a lot of trees that. Or pay for a lot of people that weren't their responsibility.
GIS has, GIS is,
Yeah,
you know what you mean, okay, they have labeled town owned,
So it is on the library and,
well, town land.
yeah,
yeah, And so. But on that note, so that is what it would cost for them, it assures that he's giving us a good deal and plus at the rate of what the town gets. But we did, also, leave word for this dad and son who is in Wilmington. He did get back to me at the end of the day, perhaps tomorrow, but, maybe we can get a better deal.
I'm using David Sons right now for 7 trees, so 3,700.
Is it Dave or dad and?
There's dad and son, and then, or Dave.
Oh, I called the dad and sons, there's another dad and sons in Texas. He said, what town are you calling from? I said, Wilmington, where you are? Oh, no.
Yeah.
He said, oh, you have someone in Wilmington.
So we are calling his dad?
No, so-
It was Kyle Paul's dad company for
Okay.
dad and sons.
Okay,
Um,
They're
they're good,
they're very good. They're probably the #1 used one in Wellington, I think.
definitely one of the top ones.
Well, too, with the fate of Linden, their company, there was half-hour travel cost. One way and a half hour, so that was an hour's worth that you were paying for, so they're not around here, so. Maybe hope you would think in Wilmington that we would not have that cost. So right there.
I'll consider that.
Okay, so that's the trees, Gina. Okay, so it's mentioned on there,
Did you find the other donation?
And it came to the bone, they started, they did not, this is the second time just today. And they did a nice job, the first time out, I had an issue because they were not, they're back to not mowing the hill. In our back, they did, and it looks nice. So that got settled without having to get hold of that person because the town said that we had issues to talk to the company, not to them anymore. I talked to the mowing up at the corner, that is state property. I did talk to Sean at DOT, very nice. He's responsible for that. He will take care of it very, very soon. He was working on another area that needed his attention first. We usually pick up the garbage because I thought we mowed it with our lawnmower, so we appreciated that. We keep that clean and he will get to doing that. So now when we put our signs up there, we'll be able to see red. So that is what, so that is their property.
Who's property?
they,
State's property.
74 is a state road, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a few, you don't know where
oh,
to go.
Don't worry about it, we're all kind of, right, who's dying. Okay.
Oh, something really nice, of course, it's gonna be more on my account, but we have 2 new young volunteers, a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old. Who are now going to be working, one in the morning, one in the afternoon on Thursdays, which is really nice. I don't know, if that's some things in around here, though, if my time. Oh, we did get from. Your mom, you wanna share something about that?
I mean, I'm glad I finally happened.
Oh,
just-
on that note, yeah, she did call and
Good.
emailed and said that she would like books,
Yes,
for
Yes.
books, I don't know if there's something specific.
so Altruis $1,000 donation finally. Finally got mailed to you, huh? And earmarked for YA children's books primarily. And with the stipulation that book plates go in memory of this, what's her name?
I think Griffin,
Eileen
she was
Griffin.
a big
Okay,
patron of the library.
So
That's nice.
I couldn't believe the treasurer of Altruis had taken so long to. Anyway, it's all good, we have the money, so.
Okay, that's it, and then everything else is what's on the agenda.
Okay, so treasurer's report,
So. Said that earlier. Everybody got it now.
I didn't see it, but.
I sent it back up to you.
No, I'm sure it's in my now, I just didn't check it.
I have it,
So at the beginning,
I could give you if. Anybody wanna look at it or you wanna make a comment?
Okay, I think that's the only one that doesn't have,
Yeah, I'm gonna failure.
okay, so,
Okay, so we have a beginning balance of $63,049.25. The June revenues were interest of $1,604.53. Donations of $120. Patron fees of $77.50. ALG trust, $400, and miscellaneous income of $419. Total revenue of $3,401.72. Expenses, payroll, $16,757.67. We have a unique line item here of sick leave. This is, long story short, Deb's. Servo money went into the sick leave. It's because it's not an expense, it's actually an addition, that's why it's negative. But we had $5,489.44 there. Office supplies of, go ahead.
that's working comp.
Yeah.
Reimbursement.
And then office supplies of $179.53, staff hardware $43.83. Staff software $159.90, payroll processing $6.65. Telephone $223.14, internet $499. Building custodial $71.43, electricity $1,243.70. Miscellaneous $149.45, books $595.94, audio DVCD $128.17. Total expense of $14,568.97. Ending balance of $51,882. And I did a little bit of it's a formal end of the year, I kind of looked at some of the numbers as far as what we budgeted, what we used. And I'm not gonna go through each line item, unless you guys really want me to. But the budget expenses, we have a $254,000 budget, and so far we have $250,571. I have to touch base, see if there's anything that's gonna trickle down from Tish or not, but.
Can you repeat the second number, 250,000?
Sure. $250,571, so we were under budget of $3,429, however, that's what is in the budget. We did have revenues of $47,031 for the whole year. So between what we had at the end of the balance, and with our revenues, we had a remaining balance of $50,461, however. There's total encumbrances of $8,079. So there may be some expenses out there. When you take those two numbers, you have $42,382 for a remaining balance after taking encumbrance money out. $42,382. Now, there gets into agenda items later on of septic systems, which we can talk about later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I did quickly as a little time sheet.
I have a question.
Sure.
and It may be a dumb question, so be
Sure.
prepared for that. When I was talking to Tish, she was talking about encumbrances, and I don't know what that means.
So basically, they're like bills that are out there that's supposed to be cashed.
Okay,
And they.
alright, okay, alright.
There was. Time do they get, sometimes they end up not being encumbrance. right?
Okay,
It's just money set aside.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't familiar with that term, so.
Just as a fence with that much money being left over, there were things that didn't get invoiced ahead of time. There was landscaping work to be done, there was septic system, also give the time of hope leaving or whatever, trying to end things up. There would have been more money spent, say, for example, on books and DVDs and all those sort of things. Keep in mind that 20,000 of that cannot be spent because that's for tab.
Yeah.
So
And they can do
That's-
this stuff.
the internet, that's what happened. It was in there because the grant had come in, we were hoping that we were gonna be getting it worked on sooner. But now it's getting, we're down the line of what, other libraries. So
That
we got
grant money.
Oh, yes.
That says, yeah, that's.
Okay, so that's what I wanted.
There are, just to touch quick on the books, newspapers and audio, we spent under our budgeted amount, $879 for books, $14 for newspapers. And for audio DVD, CDs, we're under 1,683, so.
And I did my first round of doing bills, so some of the stuff from the end of June got in late, so.
Sure.
That got in, yesterday, all the bills got paid, well, got taken to the town for the town to pay.
Even things like office supplies,
Yeah.
I think I have like.
Frequently,
pieces of paper.
frequently, we really don't know what our end of the year
It just was. a
slush
lot.
fund is until,
Yeah, that's why I say this is a rough
Yeah.
fund.
Thanks for putting that together.
okay, any other questions about the treasurer's report? Okay, then, the elevator.
Okay, so, I tried, to talk to two people, one of the meetings, Nick, you had asked for us to compare the one, the prime, the plus, or whatever, and they came back saying for our needs, and also the cheapest way to go, covering everything that, they were recommending, just the, plus. They gave us a new,
They're recommending what?
the phone, for the elevator, the
Okay.
phone system that is in
How
there.
much does it cost?
It's the installation fee is, would be $2,000
Yeah.
one time. But then every year there is the subscription fee of $60 a month.
Okay, now is there, the phone comes with it?
And this is what it is, yeah, they changed it up, they give you
Okay,
a new,
Is there's not any more expense for the hardware for the
No.
phone itself? Okay,
no, this is installation, and they would install everything.
okay.
But so it works, or keeps, like you have a regular phone, says, you gotta pay for it, cause
Okay.
it could be used.
So that's a tier below what they had initially, cause I thought there was a monthly subscription in
That's
the
it,
tier, so this is not that one, it's underneath that one, or?
it was, okay, it was.
Cause that was the middle plan, I believe,
This was
initially.
the one. No, we had with Otis one, that was, okay, let's see. Let me just look at this one. So we had. The Otis one, okay, so Otis one, it was Otis one, and then they told us the best for us would be the Otis. Oh my God. Yeah, it came in Otis One Plus.
The initial
So
one I
maybe
thought
Otis one
was,
Otis One. And then when I was asking them to compare. They did come back with something different, Otis One Plus, okay.
okay, so it went Otis One Prime, Otis One Plus, Otis One Pro.
Oh,
So we're at Otis One Plus,
okay, so the bottom line is.
That's
what's
this one was the one they recommend. That's
If they say it's the cheapest and it works the best, let's just go with that.
What's the middle tier, it sounds like.
It's a lowest tier.
It is.
I thought it was.
They were recommending Otis One Plus, it was first Otis One Prime, which actually was the least.
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
something that-
Otis One Plus, which is what they're suggesting now is medium price range. The Otis One Pro was the most expensive.
So there's like that's in the middle tier.
so they're suggesting that, but they're not saying
Yeah,
we
they're
have to.
suggesting, yes, for what our needs are.
So the only thing the phone is there for is for emergency.
So there's two items on the website here,
Emergency phone.
But you know what we learned, and which was talking about for ADT,
Yeah.
we've been having problems with our fire and our burglar alarm
Yeah.
systems. And it's because, part of the reason is because our elevator system, is, outdated, their
Okay,
phone.
now which phone would ADT recommend that would be most compatible?
Okay, that's a question I never thought of asking them, it was Otis, so I figured Otis would know.
Let's
As far as ADT,
just get this Otis ordered
that I don't know,
and get it done.
Cause I thought there was a price between the fire and one.
because now even our ADT
right, top.
is becoming obsolete.
Okay,
Well, that's gonna have to wait.
And they're going to, but with them, they were already out to repair something, they checked it out, not just our upstairs one is out of whack. Our downstairs one is out of whack, they came in and checked out, so the problem was, part of it is because of the phone in the because all, it has to do with the fire, alarm.
Yeah,
The one in they said part of the problem is the phone in the elevator, which we said we were working on, find out, replacing that as soon as we could. And there were parts that were, broken and were just repaired that they are ordering parts for and will come and fix, and then we should be okay. But a lot of it's
We're on
from
ODT now.
this elevator.
okay, so let's figure out, which it doesn't make any difference to, the security. Which
No,
one is,
one thing about it is,
if any of those phones will work, pick one, order it, and let's get it done.
and they'll do, and then once the Otis gets taken care of and ADT comes out to
Right,
finish
right.
what they have to repair, everything should be in working order.
Yes.
Jen,
I'll get there.
Are we?
Oh, okay,
So-
way too many people talking at once. Jen has her hand up, she's had it up for
Okay.
5 minutes.
Deb, I just wanted to ask you to repeat those numbers because I didn't get them
Okay,
down.
one sec.
Installation is $2,000 and the fee is $60.
Okay, so that.
Okay,
For
sorry.
the mid-tier plan, all
So
at one
for,
plus.
so for Otis. One plus, is what it's being called.
Right.
That's the median of the price range. The installation fee is 2,000. And that takes care of all things, and then $60 per month. Now, this stuff isn't into our budget.
Now, is it $60 a month for all the plans?
I would imagine not, because
No,
Okay,
there's a tier above this.
Yeah, I didn't know.
This is
whether-
actually one thing
They
that
are
concerns
different
me.
prices, so I would think that they would be more.
Is this phone ADA accessible? Are we totally compliant ADA wise? I mean, because that's primarily who's using the elevator in the first place.
I think you
I
just
would
pick up the
imagine, I
phone and
mean,
talk.
I without knowing, imagine.
Yeah.
Let me open the door and make sure that it's.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty.
Well, this is
curious.
with a video and text, so this is maybe a.
Oh, maybe that's, yeah.
It's probably above and beyond, because they're not gonna put something in there that's not code,
Yeah.
No,
right?
And you've
Yeah.
got an alarm bell in there,
Yeah,
and this is a small enough place, all you can do is yell, and
Yeah.
somebody will hear you. So this is really, the phone
Yeah.
is nice.
Well, yeah, but if you're truly having a handicap, yeah.
So-
yeah, the phone is definitely reachable, I thought.
So the difference between on their website, right, is saying from Otis One Prime to Otis One Plus is basically two things. Digital phone service is replacing a lot of phones, right? And notifies you of equipment issues in real time and automatically dispatches your mechanic. Do we really need those two
No,
things for
that's-
$60 a month, times 12 months, I'd be hard pressed to say yes, it's
Well, I'm
$720.
Confused about.
What's your opinion?
I wonder if you can do this and not. Pay the 60, I don't know if you can have them do what it is. And then. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is that, are they offering us the $2,000 install? Because they're counting us as plus, and
Oh,
plus
maybe the
has a
rate.
check mark for that.
Sure, yeah, I mean,
So
if you
maybe-
cross-reference,
Yeah,
for me, if it's 2,000 no matter what, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
then walk with the two, without the subscription, in my opinion. But if it's gonna be 3,000
Right.
with no subscription, does it make sense, I don't know, longevity,
Okay.
Still
so
makes
my
sense,
question
but-
To them would be. Can we do the installation fee of the 2,000 and not have a subscription?
Right.
A monthly subscription.
and they're gonna try to upsell you.
Right, I was gonna say, they're never gonna recommend the lowest tier, so.
So if we can still do it, right,
Can you have it, yeah.
Then let's do
I
that,
think you
but-
have it on a phone system.
but they're gonna say, no, this is gonna, this is the best thing.
So can we have them about the other?
And this is in the budget already, or where's
No,
this
it's
coming
not.
out of, or do you have to? Okay,
This money that's.
I was just gonna say,
I'll go for it.
yeah, okay,
Really
okay, yeah.
important things. So, okay, well, we finished AEP2.
so I did have one question about EDT, it said that the parts were broken and they were ordering parts, do we have? No, do we have, like, is that accounted for in the budget, the
Right,
parts,
question.
are we,
No,
are they
it
gonna
was
cost money?
All unexpected.
So do we know how much those parts that they ordered are costing?
They
They
don't.
Okay, I just wanted to see if we knew.
I think at this point, you have to be happy that it looks like there's some left over from last year.
Right, exactly.
I don't know where else we would borrow from.
Okay, it's on the next one on the list, but can we skip down one because it's all related and talk about the phones?
I would, as long as we don't skip trash
Oh,
altogether.
no, I'm not gonna skip track.
Sure,
It's just-
got it.
I just,
I'm good.
the phones are affecting the alarm
Sure.
system, the alarm system is being affected by the elevator.
Sure.
Yeah,
There's even more to do with phones, but now we're talking about our phones that we use that get wrong every day, that kind of thing. We were told by TAP,
mhm.
because they are, it's connected. Okay, so our phones and our computers, believe it or not, are connected together. When one goes out, the other one goes out. We do not know why that is the case. It was set up from the beginning of time. So TAB can do something when they're about to do other things for us, when they can get approved with the grant and all that other stuff. At some point in time, is what I want to say. The TAB will be able to work with our phones and our computers so that they work together. Okay, because right now we do have an issue with the phones. For example, every station used to have a phone, they're old, they keep breaking. And we keep, changing the positions around, but there's gonna come a time where it may not work. TAB will do what they can to keep them going for as long as they can. But there may come a time where we don't have enough phones in the building to do the job it's supposed to do.
Well, phones are pretty cheap,
Not once you get to commercial.
but even the commercial.
They should be.
No, but I thought even the commercial ones were,
And actually, they will suggest ones to us.
Of course.
They will suggest the most.
Yes, so they're comparable to each other, so,
Tab is going to suggest phones.
yeah.
Okay,
They're wonderful. They're even gonna help us with our cameras, the security cameras, they're a wonderful company.
can they give us tell us how much it's gonna cost?
Eventually, I'm sure, yeah.
Okay, so let me try to get an estimate from them, because this money's gonna go in a hurry, you know what I mean?
Yes.
We have to kind of husband it quite carefully.
But I don't know if they can do that yet because of everything else that's gotta get
I
done.
don't know, but if they can tell us how much it's gonna cost, then we know how much money to set aside.
Yeah. If they know what they're going to do, it
Yeah.
seems like they should know.
What shape they're in,
Well, one
I don't know
other
if we can pin them down on that,
Well, you gotta call and say if we replace the phones, what are we looking at? Because.
Sort it out there.
They should be able to do
At least
that.
at the dialogue that starts.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to start at one point, right?
Oh, yes, we just have all the time in the world.
I know this.
What is God?
I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so it's all connected Otis ADT tab. Eventually, all of this will get rolled in together and nothing will be affecting anything else and everything's gonna work
It's
in harmony.
it's just gotta wait till it starts rolling like that, kind of like a dominoes, but.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I think dominoes,
Yep.
you got one thing and then the next thing, something's gotta get started for the next thing to start.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Nothing next.
the phone for the elevator, we've pretty much discussed that.
Yeah, that'll get done.
We'll have to make that decision next meeting or something.
Yep.
And then if we can get an estimate, or Tab can come in and say, wow, it's gonna cost you a lot, at least we know,
Yeah.
we're let our hair raise now, we don't need it later. Just tell them, what's it gonna be? We wanna do it as soon as possible.
They might not give us that answer for a month or two,
Yeah.
but yeah, it starts that conversation.
But get that.
Do we save money by waiting for ADT to be doing the grant stuff because they only have to come once?
I don't think ADT, those are our ones.
No, sorry, tap, sorry, and it's, sorry, wrong.
And then.
Wrong. Oh, sorry, I was gonna ask,
What's the grant number for what tabs, what's covering tab, is it?
Well, 20,000 is
20,000.
grant, but you also keep in mind that there is, 50,000, I think still, that's there from Mr. North's
And that can go only toward,
foundation, that is.
That was designed for technology.
So that would be used well. and that could be any of these things, right?
And the nice thing about Tab, they, you know, they're on a, as you need basis, it's not like with Novus, you're paying money, you may not even go on them or can use them, you only pay for what they do. When you need them to do it. So like I say, good company in that respect.
Okay, so trash disposal and water softener pellets.
Okay, this is how this goes. So, we've always done it over the last 3 or 4 years with COVID and stuff. People are coming in, as you know, we didn't collect that much garbage. So we were doing it on our own. Hold on a second, so. Oh, sorry.
It's okay,
You will-
take your time, you're
I
all
was
right,
getting a pain.
just,
Okay, so we used to do it. Myself hoping her husband would go get the salt pellets, we'd go to. BJ's, that's how we got a BJ's card, because they used to have it. Go to Tractor Supply, we'd go to Mansfield Supply, pick up whatever bags would fit in our cars and whatnot. Our custodian does not want to do that, he has a very old car. He teases that, you know, if they go into the dump, you know, it smells of his car, then he has to clean it, I don't think our garbage is that dirty, but anyways, that's. You know, but he's in his right,
yeah,
yeah, definitely that's right, and, so as far as the salt pellets and the trash being brought to the dump, we have got to find a way to make other accommodations.
now Bill told me when I was in the other day. That you had spoken to Tractor Supply and
That's
they
my
might
next
be
thing,
willing
yeah.
to deliver.
Yeah, so what I did was, find out. How we can get the pellets here without using our own cars and the wear and tear and whatever, not to mention insurance, you drive, you go there, accident, God forbid. So yes, we can get a year's supply. Now, well, it's good because one pallet is actually 63 bags at 50 pounds a bag.
Right.
And, I'm so sorry, I'm having a hard time bringing things to the front of my mind.
It's fine.
So, and Bill and I figured we probably need about 75, 78 bags. We're in need of them right now, he's gonna go and pick up some, and we're gonna order a pallet of 63 bags. They'll deliver it, he will take care of bringing it into the building, we'll store it downstairs, we have a finished part of the basement on. You know, the wooden platforms, so that they stay long, because we can't fit them all in the room where the actual softening system is. So, in doing that, we save money, because you're saving 5% on each bag.
Nice,
The delivery, because it's not as far as Home Depot and Lowe's, that it's only gonna cost us, because it's a third party that does it, it's called Roadie, is $69. You know, so it's gonna work out okay, we will have to store them, as I said, in the unfinished part of the basement. So it'll take up some space, but nothing's going on down there right now, and in the long run, it'll save us time and energy, money,
So-
wear and tear.
clarification, the $69 is the delivery fee on top of, and how much will the pallet cost, do you know?
Yeah, but you're gonna ask me now.
Oh, no, don't worry, I just was wondering,
Yes, it's like, okay, I wanna say it was fixed in my mind, it was, I think it was like $693.
So the
Okay.
pallet of how many bags?
And I know you can ask me how much should we have, on our budget, and I don't remember.
that's okay, I was just wondering if,
But we said, because normally we wouldn't be saving 5% on the back, so.
right,
you
and
know,
then,
that adds
yeah,
up.
I mean, and the delivery fee is
It
kind of
goes right
absorbed
into it.
by that difference.
Yeah, because what we've been doing too is when we go to the dump or get the bags, we're not charging mileage, and really we have the right to do that.
Yeah, that's,
You know.
What was the line item that covered this in the first place? Did it come out of something called water softener pellets, or what was it?
It's under,
It's winter supply.
It's called, for gas water. Yeah.
So when we look at our.
What was she saying, within our
But
budget?
we look at our budget, what,
Yes,
yeah, That's
called, called water.
Here,
Yeah, well, where's it coming, is it out of maintenance, repair, you know what I mean?
That's what
That's
I'm-
why it's what she's talking.
That's what that's asking.
Yeah,
Maintenance.
Maintenance, okay, and this has already been set aside and
Yeah,
you've already
money
allocated,
is
okay.
there for that,
Okay.
we want you to save a little bit.
never storm maintenance.
now you can take.
The trash disposal.
Yeah, you know, anybody want to stop on by when you're going that way.
I'll be perfectly honest, I did not like the idea of getting rid of the trash pickup.
That's how we save money in 2000.
I know, it was, I know it was to save money, but it bothered me that then you guys were going to the dump with all the stuff. I know because you've been going, we don't have it as a line item in the budget, but I really think we need to consider getting romantic waste or somebody else back in here.
That's not,
Okay,
that's not
so-
what I was.
I did talk to them,
Mhm.
and since last COVID, when they were doing it, it's doubled in price. It's no longer 2, it is 4,000,
That doesn't-
A year?
actually double.
Would anyone be willing to, call a few places and figure out if we can get a better, because aren't there a couple of places that?
I thought they were the ones that have this
It's sort of
market.
corner of the market.
Okay, I thought there were 2 or 3, but maybe,
I don't think so.
And what is, how does,
Casella is Casella.
They're out of Willow.
It's the same.
They're the same company.
oh, they're the same.
Renamed on.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright. I
Yeah,
thought they were
I
different.
know
numbers.
there are people in town that do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And if we put it out on the Wellington line, you know, with your connection, and just say, is there anybody? The library needs the trash picked up 1 day a week. And we'll pay $2,000 for the year. That's what we pay.
What about like, you mean like just any person?
Well, there are people that they collect metal, and they do things like that, you know, these little side things like. and
Dump
the name of
runs.
the guy,
Yeah, I've seen signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They dump runs and stuff and so, or just say, you know, we need to hire somebody to do it, maybe we can get it for cheaper than 2,000.
Does the Huckleberry Bird have a Facebook page?
No, we do not.
no,
Okay.
So my only concern, it's a great idea, my concern comes back and other people in town. Express the liability, right?
That's my concern.
right.
And that's
Yes,
much
God
more than
forbid
$4,000.
there's a hypodermic needle in it.
That or an accident. Get tractor trailers on Ruby Road that drive like idiots sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
And regular cars, but
But.
for $4,000 a year, I think paying that, it reduces the town's liability, library's liability.
I agree with you on that.
Yes, yeah.
One thing that happened often, which was really too bad, and it wasn't whether it was COVID or not, when you do have a dumpster, everybody uses it.
That is where.
You talk, maybe think you say use stuff, but I can't tell you how many times I did have, I did. You have garbage on, the overflowing, you have garbage out back on the side, where you're picking them up, they're taking one thing, okay, oh, wait, you're going to take the garbage and throw it into the thing, but
Are
I think
they padlockable?
they were, we did, and.
People
and
still
for
gonna
some
leave it
reason,
right
they were-
around.
Yeah.
And if that becomes a problem, we can always get
You can
a
do
camera. So we can add a security camera or we can even get a hunter's camera. You know, there are ways to record, or even just put up a sign that says that it's being viewed by a camera. Might be enough to. Well, I'm saying, now everybody knows that.
We do have one, Jen, on the corner of the
Okay.
building that needs to just get working.
Okay,
So there is one actually.
okay, so
I don't even understand that quote, is it by volume? Like, how does that even?
No, just everything went up, a new company took over.
No, I know, I can buy myself, but I just.
Yeah,
didn't know
well, I
that.
was,
How
yes,
many
they
they
do,
do to that?
yeah,
but it's a.
and that's.
I know, I get it, that's
Yeah.
why I was asking what the volume was, what the difference was.
And that's minimum, that's not including if you wanna have pickup for recyclables. and
Oh
all
my
that
God.
other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's only twice a month, that's not every, you can do every week,
Okay, I have
twice a
usually
month.
type both,
You can do it once a month.
Is it cheaper if we did it once a month and we had a sizable dumpster
And, yeah, sure,
to reduce costs?
yeah. Just so that you don't generate that, what we could still then, I would recommend, and we've done it, and we would give it up. when you have somebody use a community room, they need to take their own garbage home.
How much trash do we really produce?
That's, yeah, that's the problem.
You know, it goes through spurts, like right now, there's a lot of stuff from the friends downstairs that, you know, is from the book sale, and them cleaning out and cleaning up downstairs, so it varies.
Mhm.
What we generate ourselves, not that
Cause
much.
my concern is like, I don't know, I mean, I may be biased, cause anytime I go somewhere, they like take your trash out, I'm like, really, you have friggin' trash, you know? It's just a nuisance, right? I don't wanna have any deterrent to
But
people.
if the trash is not being generated here, the Friends should be bringing their pickup truck. And
Sometimes they do, once in a while, but we, you know, we just wanna get rid of it, so, you know, we help. They have, not consistently, not all of it yet, but Bill, like say, if he has room in his car and ours is not taking up that much room, yes, he grabs something just to get rid of it.
I think it's just a service that any municipality building should be, I know we're not town, but any
Yeah, I
town
agree.
building should be giving
Yeah.
it instead.
we actually should be on the town. for that.
Fair,
I mean, or pay part of the town, you know, but they won't do it.
I asked about that and the town said no.
Yeah, I asked so long years ago.
Yeah, I did too.
when's the last time we talked to them about that?
When did COVID start?
Have we talked to them under the new administration?
Yeah, I talked to it under Eric, talked to them under Erica, I haven't talked to Peter.
We can revisit,
I think you would probably be the best one to do that if you don't mind.
yeah,
If
I've
you
been
have
emailing with Peter,
connections
so.
with them.
Is there, yeah, and I'll even have a conversation with Peter, like, can we, from that gap of. Whatever today, say, till when we get some kind of contract in place, can we have. Troy and the team come and just once a week, just pick it up, I'll talk to Peter, right, I'm sure there may be. Troy's gonna push probably, right, but at the end of the day, let's go to the.
It can't
Yeah.
hurt, the most they can say is, of course not, or something like that, you know?
Because
And-
the pitch to Peter is, okay, well, you rather have a liability of somebody driving, or would you rather have the town
Right.
come and pick it up? Which choice do you want?
What they can watch the trucks really faster. Okay, I read that, like, keep going.
Okay, so we go on trash disposal then?
Okay.
Okay, so septic system.
I don't know what the total cost is to wait for parts, Joy can fill you in as far as.
Hard to come in.
Oh,
Can I just interject real quick? Sorry, just from a conversational standpoint, like from factual coming from the company, I think it's wise for you to talk as far as opinion and such. I would respectfully ask for a standing.
Yeah.
That's all, I just wanna put them,
Yeah.
but, well, the conflict, that's all,
Yeah,
but I welcome what costs and.
Well, like I said, the parts have come in and we're in the process of rebuilding the pumps.
Any
But as
time
for
frame
total
yet?
cost, I don't know.
No, we, okay, well, I know it's, at least it's 30, that's what we started off with, it was electricity.
So, yeah,
What was the?
After that,
30?
38 to 3,800 was Dave's end of it, and then he was looking into electrician to see what their cost.
It's about the septic.
yes,
Yes.
okay, we're done.
So additional,
I didn't like hearing it just.
so 30 plus electric,
Yeah,
okay,
you do know that.
Okay, the septic system needs to be paid money up there.
I'll find it now.
Yeah.
Okay, 38.
There's no money on this budget.
Can you start at it, to Peter?
Well, at least,
I don't know how far that except for last year's goals.
no, these are the kinds of things, it even more.
And part of the parts then, as we start off, took my visit on and the parts, just kind of, yeah.
She mentioned maybe in there. Is it?
Is that
You
one that's
somebody's name, or have somebody from a company bid, say for mowing, say for septic, say for propane. Can you find out what that process is? How do we get it to be a part of that? And have a say as far as.
Usually,
You know,
so.
something better to do something, or somebody would think could do.
So my experience in Torrington on this, in Torrington was that the town hall, somebody would approach the town hall. And they would have a vetted list, because you gotta make sure that insurances are there and all that stuff. once they check all those boxes, then an offer would be sent out to XYZ companies, right?
Can you?
And I can see what's up with Wellington when it comes to that,
Cause I think the library really,
cause that's how it was in Torrington, so.
cause I know we had years ago, when I first started, we beat the town and everybody's, all their prices.
Usually towns will go through like, the state already has a vetted list, usually, and a lot of towns just use the vetted list from the state, so.
Yeah, I like local people too.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Let me say, you-
But the-
you're
but the-
cheaper than we're
But
like,
the thing is for local municipalities is that, these people that are on this list, usually the state requires higher end insurances. And usually they charge more. Then, and a lot of your local people aren't carrying those same insurance coverages that.
As long as
Somebody
we keep
else.
apples for apples.
Sure.
Okay,
I
Jen,
think that.
I'd like to make a suggestion that it's already 8:22 and we have not touched on Deb's job, which is probably the most important thing in our meeting. So how would people feel about jumping down to that and circling back to other stuff afterwards, if we have time?
That would work for me because I do need to leave.
Okay,
Sure.
Both of those items for Deb, right? The hiring and vacation pay, jump to both of them, or which one first?
Well, I was,
Okay. Okay,
I think both are equally important.
yeah,
which ones we looking at?
The hiring Deb and Deb's vacation, those two,
yeah, I think those should be,
I have to, tell you. I went for Kathy to come back first.
Okay.
but are we good with moving them,
I.
unless you object or?
No, we
Okay,
discussed
all right,
it.
so let's wait.
Well,
okay,
Well, wait for
well,
Kathy.
since Kathy's not here, ARPA. Waiting to hear back from them, tell us, but I went to the CIP meeting at 5:30 today. We are on the list to get our gutters from ARPA. So, yeah, I don't know exactly how the wording is, but there was extra money from ARPA and it says that ARPA funds will cover the retaining wall, and then there's something else in here that says extra money, but yeah, no. ARPA's going to look into getting the gutters done. Okay, so we were just waiting for you to come back, Kathy, so we'll just.
Oh, thank you, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
And then we were down, to the items for Deb.
Sure.
We have had,
Okay.
a, development,
So which one are we gonna talk about right
we're
now?
gonna talk about something else. Just one more, introduce it. Today Karen and I had a meeting, via phone, or via, doing that kind of thing. With a lawyer who is in the other part of the state, and her job is to work with nonprofits when there are issues that need to be resolved. Her name is Ellie.
We got her name and email from Michelle Cunningham when Michelle was here. This was just a
What does she
You're-
specialize on, I'm sorry,
nonprofit.
so she's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
The
her.
question, I mean, it was a very short meeting with her. It was just a matter of, would you come to Wellington since you're down there in New Haven? But, she says she knows Wellington, she went to Yukon, and her kids are always bugging her to come up here to the dairy bar, so yeah, she comes up to this part of the state. She specifically does nonprofits, nothing else. And, I know we don't have a lot of money in the account for lawyers, but she has a standing fee per month and as many hours as we need her. And so the whole reason for talking to her was just, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jen, was just to get a feel if she would
Yeah.
work with us and some of this stuff.
Right now, we kind of have a Chinese fire drill going on in here. Okay, because we have Deb here 4 hours a day, we are missing a director, we have problems with budget. And we talked to her about that, that was the one topic that came up is budget. She will come in and she will sit down with Tish. And they will get this straight, just what is what. even the papers that were handed out today, there are mistakes.
Mhm.
So we need somebody with a new pair of eyes to come in and look at some of these issues, somebody who has no skin in the game here at all. And has no prejudices from being this party or that party or anything else. So she will come in and look at that. She will come in and help us with hiring a director. My biggest fear with the director is we will ask a question that is not appropriate and end up getting sued for that. Are you okay?
Okay, I wanted to see your face talking.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, I know. Do you have a headache? Are you okay?
I'm, well,
Yeah,
it's
you,
much.
yeah, you always say that you're okay and you're on desk.
Keep talking.
Okay, so those are the kinds of things, and so, it's better if we just wait till we can sit down with her.
She
And we
would also-
can look at all this, because we're not in the shape to be able to hire or offer a contract right now. And then turn around in a month and say, we wrote it wrong, we're in trouble.
Right.
So, yeah, so
So,
we're trying to dot our i's and cross our t's.
so initial feeling is I think that I don't think it's a good idea. My next question is, what is she gonna charge?
Her charge is
$1,500.
flat fee per month,
Per month,
$1,500. Hopefully, within 2 months, we would have this done. The bottom line is that with all of the FOIAs that are floating around, all of the papers that have been waved in our face, a lawsuit would be one hell of a lot more if we don't know what we're doing, and we don't. So that's why we have suggested it. Okay? But go ahead, Nick, go ahead.
So the anticipation would be 2 to 3 months with her?
Hopefully, 3 at the latest.
Cause I definitely don't anticipate things to calm down in the next 3 weeks.
Well, I think if we have this guidance, how to proceed. You know, so that we know we're proceeding according to oil and according to law, we'll be better off.
It's
So right now, I'm afraid we're going to step into, you know, after what we went through with Clea. And we look at the people that could be applying for this job. We could have a real problem if we don't know what we're doing. And I think that maybe the last group that hired, they might have benefited from some legal advice. And so this might be cheap in the long run. I'm not crazy about spending it any more than anybody else, but after talking with her, common sense, good common sense. I think that we could use that. We have an issue, this one doing that, this one doing that, and she'll help us with it. She'll help us do it. And the budget, I know Nick wants to go through it and stuff. Let's get it straightened out.
So she would go through all of the different job positions, not just the director.
No, she
She
would.
would handle everything.
Anything we need her to do. So she comes in and we say, we need you to go through every position. I'm not sure that's necessary, but I think that, you know.
And she would make recommendations about everything
Yes.
from salaries to
She
how to
she
proceed
will
in
make
attracting the applicants.
recommendations. And my biggest fear is that
Oh.
we're going to be out of line legally. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, accidentally saying something like, are you married, which you can't say,
I
you have to
know.
know that you can't say,
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
those kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, other concerns that come up is the biases that she's gonna be bringing forth. And that's a concern of mine, especially being somebody that works with nonprofits. I have my own opinion on that. I think there's gonna be a bias that's favorable to 4, maybe 5 board members on how we proceed. And I think she's gonna be a scapegoat for those members. That's my.
I think you don't need scapegoat, number one, and number two, we
No, I-
are a nonprofit.
I do mean that.
Yeah,
mean,
you
like-
are.
Yeah,
So,
Putting the agenda of what some
Okay.
board members are gonna want.
no, we
Making
did not
sense.
push any agenda with her.
Well,
Okay.
It's just my opinion, that's all, I'm not gonna get into arguing over this, I
The,
said my piece.
the budget and hiring. Are two.
I know it's gonna pass 501, so it doesn't.
Okay.
It's just weird to have an opinion about something not even history, that's weird.
Hold on.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
So when you say that, okay, you want to repetition again, Tam, anyways. But you say she would offer suggestions and whatnot, I take, what do I take? I don't think that's a good idea. I have concerns in that, hopefully when we have her, if we have her, there will be someone's who know about library stuff. I know she's nonprofit, but how a library runs versus how any other nonprofit would run is gonna look differently. She may not be familiar, so I don't like that she stands alone, and I hope she doesn't stand alone in making decisions. If she were to maybe make suggestions, I would hope that it would be run by us first, you know.
Well, she's not gonna do that.
So,
She's not gonna do anything, and she would bring suggestions
yeah.
to us.
About.
Yeah, she can't force
Well,
anything.
you mentioned as far as
She
payroll.
can't make the decisions, she's
No.
not gonna decide who gets paid what, and
And
what she's
she's
interested
offering
in
advice,
is if this
right?
is the budget. What's going up there is different, we've got numbers all over the place, and it's
We do.
complete. And so somebody just to sit down, sort it out. And then she can come back and say, this is what Kish and I found.
So she's offering advice is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, a lawyer does not make you do anything.
Right, okay, so it's just offering advice, we would have input.
Oh, yes.
And I imagine
Would
she
she
would
have
Not
probably,
up to her to just have the final say, cause that would be.
No, she's not gonna have the final say.
No, I would just like to make sure, because
Ally Levine.
don't have lawyers, so.
L-E-V-E-N-E.
Yeah, she said it was spelled weird.
Yeah.
The question I
Yes.
had about, oh, so it's $15 per month,
$1,500.
50 and for however many months we would need her for. And how many, like, does that break down to how many hours?
No, she doesn't do hours, she does a flat
So
rate.
it's just, so we could talk to her every day,
Yeah.
we could talk to her once a month.
She said you can
we
call
could
at 3
talk-
o'clock.
So it doesn't matter, great, so it doesn't matter,
No, it's a flat fee, it's not.
flat
hourly.
fee,
A lawyer
no stipulation. as
is
far
for
as-
advice. And you can ask them what they think and they'll give your
Well, I
opinion.
tell you what,
But it's up to you as to whether you use it or not.
that's not bad, because I know the Wellington lawyer, this goes back to when Clea was here, you might remember this, Joy. Was $500 an hour then.
Uh-huh.
We ended up racking up, do you remember? You were then?
Yes.
Racking up a terrible bill, and he was very kind to do away with it, he took it from us, so we wouldn't have to.
But she does all.
But even paying doesn't cost
Well,
any
Mixed in ways.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I question the quality, if it's $1,500 for the whole month, unlimited hours,
I
And again-
cheap and it's good.
And
Yes.
my other statement is that we've seen the town use and lean on a lawyer. And the lawyer give advice, and the crutch of the town is, well, the lawyer said this is the lawyer's recommendation. And we as representatives of the town, well, at the town level, they don't actually represent the town, they just say whatever the lawyer has recommended. And I foresee that happening here, while they might not have legal authority to enforce a decision. I can see board members saying, well, the lawyer suggested this, so we must or shall do this, or that's what I see happening, so.
That's what the discussion among the board is after she makes suggestions.
Yeah, but it's gonna always be, well, the lawyer said this, the lawyer
Well,
said
why
that,
would we
and
wanna protect
And the
ourselves?
lawyer, it's very subjective, right? Cause you have a lawyer on one side and you can have a lawyer on the other side talking about the same thing. And they're both arguing, who's right,
There's
and it's
no,
subjective,
there,
it's subjective.
there
so
is
far.
no side to this.
If-
There is really, at this point, there is no side to this. When you say, can you figure out what's wrong with our budget? Can you work?
We-
there?
She covers all sorts of nonprofit things, I'm not just nonprofit, she does family, medical leave, workplace safety, employee privacy. hiring practices, workplace investigations, independent contractors. That doesn't look like there's any bias whatsoever, it's just telling us what the law is to protect ourselves
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
okay,
make best
I
practice.
don't know who had their hand up first, Joy.
Sorry.
or Joy?
I think the reason why she only charges us $1,500 is because we are a nonprofit,
Mhm.
and she knows we don't have a big budget. Since being on the board X amount of years, I think going with her, but doing what you said, Nick, not taking her word as gold, using her suggestions, asking her if she says, well, I think you should do this, we should be judgmental and say, well, what if we don't use your opinion? What problems can we come into if we don't do it? And make our own decisions whether we're going to go that way or we're gonna go this way. Because God happened, what would have happened if Dead Splitter had opened?
Mhm.
Where would we be then? Not just.
I didn't hear you.
What would happen if you split your head open?
Like, if you had gotten,
Or not?
yeah,
Where would we be then? You know, we don't have, none of us,
yeah,
no, nothing against anybody, but none of us have enough legal experience to
For sure.
go into that type of thing, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think this would be a good start, we could like maybe try it for 1 month and see what happens. I mean, just using her suggestions will probably bring us together and be a better board and help the library out, because that's what our mission is, you know?
Okay, Nick, Deb had her hand.
I do understand where Nick is coming from, because it plays in my ear, like where you could, someone could say, well, the lawyer says this, the lawyer says this, so it's like God. But because I hear it now when you guys or somebody says, oh, well, the town says this, or the town does this, it's like, oh, that's the town, that's not us, we're separate, so I understand that, definitely. You're just gonna have to really be careful, like you say, that's your eyes and cross
You
your
know,
T's, and,
and.
you know, like really be diligent
Opinion. We
with
ask
it, because that could easily happen.
Okay, next.
One of my last comments on this is that the problems that we have on this board right now are easily fixed by the six of us. It's just, we've always we've pushed the budget down the road. We're supposed to discuss it and we never have. We said,
Yes.
one, if I can't finish, please. We said that we would vote on it, and then all of a sudden we said, the board had stated that, well, we're gonna wait for the budget to pass, which did not have to happen. And we've never approved officially a budget at all. At all, so these issues that are out there that she supposedly can fix. The board has just been lazy and not done it when we could have done it. We don't need a lawyer to do work that we can do, we just refuse to do it.
The board officially voted on a budget in the last week of January that we submitted to BOF. BOF came back and cut. And we had already been talking about switching to the director, assistant director position. And that's what that loose leaf piece of paper that you referred to said, and we talked about how we could spend the money and what we could do. I sent out an Excel sheet, and it says budget July 2024. The first 3 columns are our 2022.
Sorry, what was it, budget, what?
July 2024. The first column is our 22-23 budget, second column is our 23-24 budget, the third column is our 24-25 suggested budget. Just wait 1 second there.
Yeah, I know, I'm just looking.
Then there is a 4th column. The only thing in the 4th column that is different from the original budget that we approved in January is the top 2 lines that are the director and assistant director positions. Everything else, line by line, has not been touched. Yes, Nick?
So. The last week of January, we passed the budget that went to the Board of Finance, which then was rejected and sent back, correct?
Yes.
Did we ever discuss the changes and had a submitted proposed budget proposal back to the board? Because I never received it.
We,
Other than loose leaf papers here and there, did we ever visit?
What? Debbie and Hope, they went through the budget, and then you brought that,
We never actually looked at it, but yeah, we did have.
We never,
Did have.
We never looked at that because it was suggested that.
Prepared for.
Okay, one person at a time,
Okay,
please.
it was suggested that we didn't need to cut anything else in the budget.
Okay.
Except dealing with the salaries.
Okay.
so,
Yes, yeah.
I have, so when it came back and got rejected. We never, those number, I as a treasurer have never seen another proposed budget. And when did we vote, so we never voted again once it came back from the Board of Finance, correct?
Not on the complete, because nothing else on the budget got changed.
Okay, and then as far as the budget, so the budget that was sent to us, the July 2024, that proposed budget was never sent to us prior to taking a vote, correct?
That was the one where you said, even the director doesn't know if she sent the right budget. Because I was getting multiple different papers from the library in terms of exactly what the pay structure was, et cetera. What is labeled July 2024 is, from what I have been told, again, the actual employee hourly pay, and the salary position. Nothing else on the budget changed.
So, but those numbers were never presented to us before voting, correct?
Before voting in
In the
January,
proposed budget,
not in January, we did it in the May 29th meeting. Yes.
so, one second.
Okay,
So May 29th, we said?
Mhm.
However, in the minutes that we approved today, and this is one of the reasons why I brought this topic up, was that in both the May 8th and May 29th minutes, it states that we never even voted on a budget. And so I don't understand how we're saying that we approved the budget in May 28th, May 8th or May 29th, but yet the minutes do not reflect any voting on the new proposed budget.
can I speak, please? Okay, so on July 2nd, it was brought to our attention by Nick that my motion, that I made a less specific motion than I had intended to. My motion on May 29th, which I meant to include numbers on and failed to do, which is my fault. It says, Jen made a motion to initiate a new structure of one full-time director and one full-time assistant program. Kathy Ryan seconded after a discussion as to whether or not we know if the funds will be available, which at this point, is uncertain. Okay, I thought that I had put numbers on that, and it was my fault that I did not speak that. So on July 2nd, we addressed this by saying in paragraph 3, a motion was made by Jen Teehan and seconded by Joan Traskowitz. By the way, in the meeting, I said that my motion had not been articulated properly, and that was my fault. Is to reduce the 3 positions to 2 positions, co-director and part-time assistant director, to 2 positions, director and assistant director / program. With salaries discussed previously, they had not been voted on until this time, parentheses, 57,571 for director and 45,000 for the assistant director. Blah, 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 blah. That, it does not say here, but I know that that passed. If we need to do it again, because the meeting minutes don't say that it passed, we can vote on this a 3rd time.
What do you mean it was never passed?
Does it say?
It says Jen
Oh.
Teehan, which, yeah,
Oh, I'm
which is,
sorry, I was just reading that first paragraph.
which is
Honestly.
incorrect, it's incorrect, yeah, as far as the vote, but go ahead.
Okay, so the vote was done, those were the only changes that were made to the budget, so the budget stayed the same with the exception of taking the difference that we needed to take out of our top 2 lines because we are a payroll heavy budget, and so we did that. The budget is complete, the budget is done, those were the only changes made, we approved those changes, everything else stayed the same. Do we need to make another motion that says,
That vote, after the vote, we specifically put down every name and we checked the vote with every person. Okay, so the vote is.
I have a voice recording of that,
Okay,
it's incorrect.
what is
I have it
incorrect?
recorded.
What is it?
It says that I abstained, I never abstained.
You refuse to answer the
I
question.
never abstained, I have it on recording.
Okay,
So-
So would you prefer to say that Teller refused to vote? Would that make you feel better?
No, I would like it to represent that I truly voted no.
Did you say no or did you?
It's on the
deny?
voice recording.
Okay, if that is true, we can check that, but either way, it passed.
No, there is no mention of here that the budget passed. There's mention of the changes to reduce 3 positions to 2 co-direct, 3, which actually doesn't even make sense here, but. There is change here, but there is no validation or approving or discussing.
Okay.
If I may
Okay.
finish, please, if I'm not finished. There's no discussion here of the line items, and there's no mention as that the budget is to be passed as prior discussions. There's none of that. There is only discussion and talk about the 3 positions. There's no discussion about landscaping,
Because
if I may
none-
finish, please. There's no discussion about any of the other line items, and there never has been, and I've asked the question multiple times if we've received a budget update. And there's been no answer saying we have, other than the last meeting, having a budget proposal. Which was stated may be incorrect, and it looks like it was incorrect because the numbers did not match 3 sources, out of 3 documents, none of them matched. So we voted on something that nobody has had an accurate budget proposal, that is factual.
Now. My question, or I guess my, can we get a copy of what was given to BOF?
I sent you.
That's this, right? That's the one you just sent us?
Okay,
Okay,
can
I
we
think
go
that-
back to our original? thing?
Okay,
Our original thing is, do we need a lawyer? Gee, I wonder if we need a lawyer. It might be that
Clearly.
going through this and getting all of those copies and having the lawyer look at it. And having the lawyer come in and say, yes, we did, or say, Nick's right, you have to go through it again. Have somebody do that.
Again, I just think it's a lazy way out of us just doing the job. If
Okay,
you just,
fine.
if I can
Okay.
finish. I just think we were voted to do this stuff, to just. Let this lawyer and just be lazy and let this person do it is uncalled for. We can save the town money, just stop being lazy, let's do it, that's it, it's simple.
It's fine, I sent everything today, there is a copy of the original budget, but as I said, my corrections are on the original budget sheet that was sent to BOF. So there is something that you got, an Excel sheet that you got that had 4 columns, and the 4th column is.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay, and I put the date on it, so you know it's the latest one.
And without, I know we wanna stay on depth first, because we're trying to, this may go into the budget discussion, right? So we're kind of teetering on multiple topics here. Do we wanna redirect and go back to hiring Deb? And as we planned on doing?
And that's fine, and if you
Okay.
look at the new budget, the amount that's in there is 45,000 plus the 689 that you suggested.
Which was then voted down in our last meeting.
Okay, but that's what ended up going in.
Okay. In our last meeting,
Okay, we have to settle, are we going to hire a lawyer?
Well, we do a motion on the table.
No,
Okay, I'm going to move that we hire the
So-
lawyer for 2 months. And that, anybody, if you would like to meet the lawyer, that's not a problem, we could probably arrange a Zoom or something like that. But I'm going to suggest that because of the number of issues we have here that are either legal issues now or could potentially become them. That we engage this lawyer for 2 months. And I think that's a reasonable time then to be able to know if it's gonna work, or if we need to extend it or.
So we're going into discussion on that.
No,
we've been in discussion.
I get it.
we have a motion on the table, we have not had a second.
I will second.
Okay, now we can have discussion.
Again, we've not approved the budget, we don't even know where the line items are officially. To say that we're gonna now spend possibly $4,500, if not more, because there's gonna be. You know, I expect the FOIA cases to, I've done FOIA cases before, and it took 9-10 months, and. This could go 9-10 months or more, depending on if there's more complaints to come forth, which I foresee happening. You know, now we're 10 months at 1,500, you know, I think we're gonna be throwing a lot of money away, for things that. We can just clean up our act when it comes to FOIA complaints, we can just fix what's being, filed. And then when it comes to the budget, we can just sit down, go through the line items. Get that done. When it comes to policy and procedure, if we need to have it validated from this lady. I would be open for something like that, right? I think we should be able to game plan the policy and procedures first. And then present it to this lawyer. But as far as running a budget and all these other things, I mean, those are things we can do, we just gotta sit down.
I honestly don't think we need her to run the budget, but I think we do need her for the hiring of a new director. There's a lot of intricacies in hiring, particularly at that level, that we really don't wanna get wrong. But we wanna be able to do an effective job and not be afraid to speak either. So I think that particularly with hiring a new director, it really makes sense for us to do this. I think, yeah, as far as the budget, it's basically done, we just have to pull our data together and then
We
present it and have a vote.
I think that her working on the budget is the small part.
Yeah.
We've got people calling Tish. You call Tish, you call Tish, you call Tish. This is not right. This is not right. You have a reason to do it because you're giving her the.
I'm giving her numbers.
Call here, call here. No, let's get it settled down. We get somebody to come in, look at the whole thing and say, this is a good process here. We're gonna do it this way, or suggest a way for doing it. Right now, this is a Chinese fire drill that's going on around here. We also need somebody to talk about personnel issues. We're gonna need that. We've got people coming in and creating issues. We've got the workman's comp issues.
Yeah, and that's a mess.
That's a snarl. We need somebody to come in who's going to be impersonal. And give us say that generally this is a good direction to go. That's what we need. We don't have that.
I agree, with the workman's comp stuff and the director hiring.
And in terms of things dragging out for 10 or 11 months. She's a month to month thing, we don't have to sign a 10-month contract.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
We can hire her this summer for 1 or 2 months, and then if something comes up in 9 or 10 months, we can call her back and
Yeah.
ask her for help again. It's not like we have to
Yeah.
drag out
That's
her.
true.
yeah, and in fact, your motion specifically said to hire her for a 2-month period.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, for me, if we're utilizing her basically for. Hiring a director, which I think could be wise, right? And policy and procedure thing, I can be on board with, I understand that. But when it comes to the actual operations of what this committee, this board should be doing. I don't think she should be dabbling into that, it could be potentially helpful to a library to have discussions of the vacation pay and that too. You know, I think personally we should pay it out, we'll get into that later on, but, it could be wise for those 2 things and possibly 3 things. But as far as the everyday stuff that us as the board members should be doing, she should not be dabbling into that stuff.
So then that makes me ask the question too. Hiring her for 2 months, in what way will we engage her? And in other words, how will she become apprised of what our issues are? Will we just present her with our spreadsheets and our minutes? And in order to prevent any kind of bias or lean on what she recommends, you can say like, here's where we are. We're in flux with job positions and their descriptions. We need some coverage and how to handle workman's comp and other claims. How should we, I just wonder to make most efficient use of her expertise. Perhaps we should think about what our process would be so that we don't waste money, waste time, or make her pick an angle. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
I think it's wise to plan ahead for how to get her best advice.
We are barely into the agenda because so much time is taken up with the minutes of the meeting. There's a lot of other stuff on the agenda.
That motion or do we?
I can't leave it hanging.
I would like to move the question.
Okay,
So as you worded it, you said to
Uh-huh.
engage Ally Levine as a lawyer for 2
2
months.
months. To help
advise
us
and
sort
consult.
out
Okay.
many of our issues.
Is that too vague?
I think
It
it's
might be, because we might, talking with her, realize there are other issues that we want her to take too, so maybe being vague isn't a bad
True,
idea.
okay, fair.
Okay. And, because the issues that we brought up is trying to get all of this budget thing straightened out. Did we vote on it, did we not vote on it, go through that? The other thing we're going to do is we have issues coming up.
Okay,
We have, all kinds of FOIA stuff and et cetera. That we have to work on. We have hiring that is coming up. We have issues.
I've moved the question, so can we get a vote?
Mhm. Okay, all in
Oh,
favor?
wait, do we have to vote on moving the question, or do we just,
No,
okay,
no.
all right, okay.
Well,
The question.
well, kind of, it's not even on the agenda. So,
That doesn't matter.
Is it new business?
It's not on the agenda at all.
Interesting. Maybe it
Because
has to
some
be.
of as hiring heavy as Mrs.
Yeah, it's,
I don't wanna do that unless we've talked with a lawyer.
yes,
So then do we need
I
to
don't wanna do
table
any
that
higher.
vote until that's on the agenda?
Any changes until we have.
we can,
Can she consult right away? So I didn't.
Yeah, we need
Could she-
contracts. And I don't know how to write a contract. That is one thing that we need to help with. It's not that I want to push off hiring Deb as assistant director, I simply want to make sure we're doing it correctly. Deb's been working for 20 years without a contract, we really should have had a contract years ago.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on this?
it's not on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay,
So she's gonna move the question.
okay,
We're going to,
hold
Move
on,
the
so-
question. I'm in favor of moving the question and we.
Can't-
Okay, hold on, Deb,
And when it comes to, you're saying that the lawyer's not on the agenda, are we meeting next week?
yes.
Can like what you do sometimes, like use this coming week to figure out what you want her to help you with and then put it on the agenda and answer and vote?
Yes,
You know, put it on when we.
yeah, so I was thinking something like that, what if each one of us takes it as their responsibility to come up with, their understanding, we'll put it on the agenda, we'll vote on it, but we'll have a chance to kind of noodle on this, what things we think are prioritized, should be
For
prioritized
next week's
for
meeting.
next week's meeting.
If somebody will get WhatsApp, I'll call you on WhatsApp.
Oh,
I don't think I
Okay,
can-
so we're not voting on either motion. Okay.
yeah,
Neither motion.
I forgot that we weren't on the agenda, that was my error.
okay. Joy and I both need to leave, we can't stay, it is after 9 o'clock.
Okay.
There's still an awful lot of stuff on the agenda, and if Joy and I leave,
Someone needs to be assigned the minutes and understand that that's their
that's
responsibility.
not what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry,
I was going to say a lot of the things that are on the, agenda, including the motion to get rid of me as chair, I don't think should be discussed with only a partial board.
correct, I agree with that.
Okay. Okay,
Before you two leave. Do we need, I think that a big topic is with, I believe. And we can't really get too much into detail because he's not here, but Steve. Because
Mhm.
under the new budget, he's currently has no job.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, that,
We understand that, yes, and that is something
That's
that
one of the big issues, yeah.
that,
we do know. that.
right now, we don't have job descriptions for either Deb or job titles for either Deb or
Okay.
Steve.
The piece of paper that says called from the May 8th meetings has job
Right.
descriptions. We need to discuss those and approve them.
So what
We
is, where is
approved
Tish
the
paying?
director,
him
we
out?
haven't approved the assistant.
So what is Tish paying him out of since there's no line item for him?
Right now, I believe, since we're hoping to hire him as director, she's paying him for the summer program out of the director's salary, knowing that if we hire a director before the summer program is over,
We'll have to.
we'll have to find someplace else to pay him.
Yeah, what she said to me when I went in to drop off bills and go through all of the bill involved stuff that I'm doing. She explained and made it very clear that it's not a problem that there's no line item for Steve, because we can use it in different ways.
Our line items are not set in stone.
Exactly, so. You know, he's continuing.
He's continuing as a programmer as the same at his.
Okay, so take your.
Well,
Okay.
what do you mean adjourned? We still have present to speak.
Okay,
Yeah, we do, that was-
Yeah, we gotta do that.
So we're tabling everything else, or?
we're tabling everything else until next week.
Or should we do the present?
The second.
We should.
That came from Don.
Thank you.
Yes, it is approved, okay. This is the approved from Don. After it's actually recommended,
Thank you, Jen.
kind of a thing. And when coming time for positions and money. I didn't even sharing it, but
I would caution, skipping present to speak.
Oh, yeah, I would
I
not
think we
skip
need,
that.
Okay, fine. Okay, present to speak. Is there anybody online that wants to say anything? Hello?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Here in the building? Present to speak?
John, bless his
Oh,
heart,
hello.
looks like he-
Okay, sorry, John. Okay, yes, John?
John Blessington, 29 Mason Road. I'm a little confused here. I lost video quite a while ago and the audio hasn't been that great. You had a motion on the floor just a minute
Hey, John,
ago.
give us a second, I can't hear
Did
you.
you vote on that?
Okay, we did not vote on it, John, because it was something that was not on the agenda. So even though there was a motion on the floor, it was decided to simply table it till next week.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay,
Yeah, you can.
you wanted to know what happened with the motion we had. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hi, could I-
Yeah,
Hello?
hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay,
I've got the volume maxed out, but we're having trouble hearing you. So if you could just speak up.
Is there fine?
okay, is this any better?
It's not, it's still only coming from your laptop.
Yeah, it's only, and I'm maxed out on my laptop.
Hang on, oh, let me see, you know what? Let me just put it, is this better?
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Oh, okay. It's Mary Pat Maloney, 6 Marco Road. I guess one of the things, and like John said, it was kind of glitching in and out, so I don't know if you guys, how much you discussed this, but I did notice on the last minutes, was it July 12th? And it said that at the May 8th meeting, you voted on director and assistant director, but that's not reflected in those minutes.
No, because we didn't. We discussed it at the May 8th meeting and we voted on it at the May 29th meeting.
Okay, so those July 12th meeting minutes need to be revised.
The July 12th say March 29th. They don't even say May 29th. We have an amendment in there to fix that.
No. I'm talking, I think it's July 2nd, I'm sorry. The July 2nd minutes say that on May 8th, you voted.
Okay.
You just have to change it to whatever that right date is.
Okay, we will make a note of that, but we did not review July 2nd minutes today.
Okay.
We'll look at those next week and thank you.
Yeah, it was
for letting
glitching
us
in and out. But to that point, maybe what might be helpful is having a spreadsheet with any motions that are passed and just a short synopsis of what the motion is. And the members present who voted aye, who voted nay. And then you can do a search for a keyword of that, and you could pull that up probably a lot more efficiently than trying to go through minutes and see who voted on what. I think Nick's point was right, like you guys didn't really vote on the budget per se in that one meeting that he was talking about. You were voting on positions. So just stuff like that, just some fine points like that. Maybe it would be helpful to have a spreadsheet with that, is all I'm saying, so that you could collate that and keep track of that. And then the one other thing too is I noticed it was probably the July 2nd meeting minutes that you were talking about looking through Robert's Rules of Order to see like what the rules on executive session or everything were. Robert's Rules of Orders, I want to say it's kind of like, I would equate that kind of to like Emily Post's version of how to run a meeting. Like it's just guidelines for how to run a meeting, but there's no legal bearing on how the meetings are run. That would be through, FOIA or whatever, that you would need to follow those rules. But Robert's Rules is just kind of guidelines to keep a meeting running effectively. So I just wanted to clarify that point.
Okay, thank you. I would like to comment on the fact that my alarm went off 10 minutes ago because I had to leave, and this is my computer.
Okay, good point. Yeah.
Right, well-
Okay, the summary was.
Still have somebody here.
I know.
Spreadsheet.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Okay,
she couldn't hear.
okay, she suggested that we keep a spreadsheet of every meeting and motion that was made and what the vote was. So that it's not just in the minutes. Okay, so I'm willing to say let's go on with presidency, but I do need to get out of here. Joy needs to get out of here. So Jamie?
That's all I had to say.
Consider a lawyer, you might want to consider the cost. You might want to consider on the hiring side, because you have problems with how you want to hire, make sure it's legal, or you might want to consider a headhunter, professional headhunter. You see what the cost is.
Price to price, yeah.
Well, you might, because the lawyer issue, the lawyer issue could get very expanded. Very expensive. If she has to start looking into, in other words, you mentioned workman's comp and other types of issues. Workman's comp is a 6-8 week thing on every single issue. That's not just workman's comp, could be other issues as well, so.
Okay, Mary Pat, I didn't realize your phone was still on. Did you have more to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I guess the one other thing now that Jamie just brought up about the attorney too is like, just be very, very clear about what it is exactly that you want her to discuss, or what you want to go over with her. I think you guys were kind of talking about that, but I think you have to have a very clear idea of what you want to talk, what
Right.
issues are worthwhile for her to discuss, to go through with you.
Decided to have everybody go home this week
Yep.
and say, these are the things we want, and bring it back to next week's meeting and make a plan.
Yeah, just, I mean, the meetings can, get kind of rambly and everything, and you want to use her to the best of your ability and what she can really help you with the most. I think Nick was correct in saying, some of these issues really could be resolved, granularly through, working together as a team and getting some organization. But yeah, use her to the best of your ability. That's all I had to say.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. And
I just want to summarize that Nick says he's going to talk to Peter about trash, right? You're gonna talk to Shannon about Zoom meetings. I'm gonna talk to Hope about some questions we had. And we're all, and the binder and the iCloud, and we're all going to noodle on
Joe, you're gonna do this. Are you looking at meetings? No, she's going to find out from Shannon about this.
Okay, and I don't, okay.
You know.
More concerns or?
we don't have, we have to table it until next week.
Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but Joey and I have to leave.
Listen, I'm on record saying that we continuously pick things down.
Yes,
We got a
I know.
lot.
And this is again, Point.
Well, we have
Continuously.
2 hour meetings. If we don't spend a half an hour going over minutes from previous meetings, we would have more time to get through the rest of the
Then
stuff.
we shouldn't be on the board if we can't make the commitments, right? We're committed to the town, right?
We are committed for meetings from 7 to 9.
That's fine, if people aren't committed, they're not committed.
Yeah, somebody ought to be committed. Somebody. Okay, I'm turning off the meeting. Thank you very much for everyone that was here.
Over that too? Alright.